Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rush Racing League here, Division number 4. This time we are back and hitting the streets of Monaco, one of the most historic racing circuits in the world, and what could be argued as the original street circuit. We went from one street circuit out in the Middle East with corners that bite and high speeds to another street circuit with corners that bite but a bit low speed. So going from a high downforce or low downforce setup to a high downforce setup is going to be kind of the name of the game here. It is myself, Rekus, in the commentary booth alongside Cooper. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. How are you?
I cannot complain. I am back here with Rush Racing League for Division number 4. And I mean, Jeddah was a bit chaotic last time out. Let's just go ahead and put it lightly. And I'm expecting even more chaos here in Monaco.
Definitely for sure. I'm expecting the very same thing. We saw a couple of DNFs in Saudi, but I'm not too surprised we'll see more here in Monaco. Hopefully everyone keeps it out of the barriers for qualifying, but who knows what's going to happen.
Indeed. And I just have one very simple question here for you tonight. I know we have a lot of predictions and a lot of things we need to talk about, but we have about 10 seconds until we load into qualifying. So, what do you say we send it over to the trackside here at Monaco?
Let's send it over there.
Alright, let's go ahead and lick the stamp and send it on over. Alright, so we're here at the beautiful Monte Carlo circuit here in Monaco, and it's a very tricky track to navigate, so drivers are going to have a bit of a tough time. And so it's going to be short quali, so pretty much this one session pretty much decides the entirety of the grid. And you know just as much as everybody else that it is very crucial to have a very good qualifying here.
Oh, for sure. It's very important to start as front up as the grid as you can, try and avoid all the midfield carnage where I think most of the DNFs will happen for today's race. My prediction for qualifying is, well, I don't want to be biased, but hopefully one of the kick sailors can get on pole. Other than that, I don't know who else will get pole. Maybe an Aston, maybe a Red Bull, maybe Claire could carry that performance over from Saudi into Monaco and could slap it on pole position. Who knows?
Indeed, yeah. I mean, we know Claire has been very strong in that Red Bull, and Chidong serving the quali band that belonged to his Kick Sauber stablemate of Yog. So that is why we have seen him retire early on. Um, as we know that Yog did get a penalty for colliding with the Visa Cash App during qualifying right at the end of what I think it was Q2 that incident happened. But I mean, things happen, but the rules are carried out indeed. Let's go and talk about the overalls here. So, in the overalls right now, Mercedes leads with 122 points, followed by Kick Sauber with 109 and McLaren with 107. Now, obviously, the Division 1 race happened earlier, so these numbers aren't quite up to date. This is after the last race in Jeddah, but I mean, to kick the week off, I mean, things are pretty close in the team standings.
Yeah, very close after round one. Very eventful Saudi Arabia with multiple DNFs across all divisions. Be really key for some drivers who maybe didn't put in the best performance for Jeddah, really put in a lot of practice and focus for Monaco, because you're going to need a very much more concentration while out on the track at Monaco, because there's no space to make a mistake. A bit like Saudi, but it's tighter.
Indeed, yeah, it's tighter, it's a bit slower, and overall, it's a trickier track, honestly. Like, I could have a bit more of a fun time with Jeddah as Claire goes ahead and just misjudges the braking zone and goes straight through the chicane. So no time set for the Red Bull, and I think, oh yeah, so the Red Bull's actually missing both end plates, so Claire does some damage on the Red Bull, and Claire is out.
Oh,
That front wheel is not where it's supposed to be, and that is an eliminated Red Bull, creating quite a few different code browns for quite a few of the drivers. So that is our second retirement of this qualifying session. Not a good start for the winner of Jeddah.
No, it's definitely not. You don't want to be at the back as Falcon sets the fast lap of a 13.3. I'm going to assume he just took it very cautiously and very safe. And then we got multiple lap times. Brandy or Dynasty sets a 12.2. That is a very solid out banker to start with.
Indeed, pretty solid times here for Division 4 here. The only time that's not looking super representative is the 1 minute 19 of Pro Team, but Hennessy jumps up to a 1:11.318, just about a little under a second ahead of Dynasty in P2. Reiko also jumps up with a 1:10, so these are some very strong start times here at Monaco. So, I mean, this is going to be really interesting because basically it's very easy to defend on this track, and it's so hard to actually get any kind of moves done on this circuit. So, I mean, if you win in qualifying, you have a very good shot of winning the race if you get your strategy up. Unlike the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix, we are not enforcing a mandatory two stop, so the teams are allowed to run that one stop if they so desire. Um, I did hear that there's a bit of rain that might come in, which might spice things up, but right now it's looking very sunny here in Monaco.
Yeah, so far, Gangster does a 10.7 to go top of the timesheets, just clearing Recco Ralph by 2.5 tenths there.
Very solid lap time from himself, or for himself, yeah. So right now we're just going to go ahead and, now that we've seen a few drivers go to set some lap times, we're going to go ahead and pivot over to the gap to leader, and as we can see, Gangster about just under 2.5 tenths ahead, like you mentioned. Hennessy, though, is about 6 tenths back off of Gangster's time, so that is a pretty healthy gap, and only 3 cars right now are within a second of Gangster's time in the Alpine. So now when we take a look at the standings here for the overalls, Alpine has it's an okay start. They're tied with Red Bull and a singular point behind Ferrari with 94 points, currently in 5th. And they'll definitely be looking to turn this around.
Yeah, for sure. And also, the other team who'd be looking to turn around is Williams. You know, they've had a very disappointing round one with a double DNF in Div 2 and some not good performances from them, but hopefully they can turn around for Monaco and get back up climb those points back up and get further up in the standings.
Yeah, right now they have the biggest point gap out of any potential team. So they have 35 points. They're currently in 10th in the constructor standings. And then their next closest rival is the Visa Cash App team, who themselves have 60 points. So Williams has definitely had a bit of a rough start here. And even in the NA race earlier today, Williams was on for a potential win in the North American division. Oh, that's a V car into the wall. Jenneth, a bit too late on the brakes, locked up, straight to the wall. But luckily, Jenneth is still able to keep going. But yeah, we're already seeing even in qualifying that there's quite a few drivers that are just running into the walls a bit here in Monaco. And the walls in Monaco, they bite and they do not care about your feelings.
Yeah, as you see, 2 Asian go to the second place with a 10.8, so currently an Alpine 1-2, which is very strong for the Alpine boys.
Indeed, so we'll see how everything does tend to play out here. But right now, Alpine is in a good spot, like you mentioned. P1 and P2 to start off qualifying is a pretty good starting point, but we know this track is going to get more and more rubbered in as the session goes along, and we're probably going to see the most representative lap times within the final 2, maybe 3-ish minutes left, roughly. We're going to hop on board with the McLaren of F7. Going to go ahead and he's the last driver aside from Tyler to set a time. So he's going to make his way through Sector 1 and making his way to the historic hairpin as the other McLaren is putting yellow sectors in Sector 2. Looks like that might just be a bit of a runoff. Traffic management is going to be a pain for these drivers here in qualifying just because there's not a lot of track to run. and you're gonna get one of these shorter lap times here around Monaco, and around the track where qualifying is just so crucial. If you get caught up in traffic and you lose a tenth, that could possibly drop you 5 or 6 positions.
Yeah, it's definitely you definitely do not want to get held up, especially in your final run. That is the most crucial lap of the session that you want to get your best lap in. So hopefully everyone can avoid each other and move out of the way, but we'll see what happens.
Um, I'm gonna have to adjust some audio stuff, but I'm hearing that potentially we might be getting red flagged here in this session. So yes, it is gonna be a red flag here during the session. We're gonna take a step back and come back to you, so hang tight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We do appreciate your patience as we go ahead and fix the lobby, make sure everything is okie dokie with no issues. So we are back and ready to re-tackle Monaco for short qualifying, and then we're going to get back to a 39 lap race here around the streets of Monte Carlo. Once again, it is myself, Ruckus, alongside Cooper in the commentary booth, and we're going to be bringing you all of the action here around the streets of Monaco. So, I think the quality bans will still be enforced, so don't expect any changes in that. And I'm not sure if the drivers who DNF'd originally before the red flag was called will still deserve their DNF, but we will see. But anyways, we are back, and Cooper, you ready to do this thing?
Let's do it.
All right, yep. So Chidong has went ahead and retired once again. So we're gonna go ahead and just re-enable all the prior settings, and then we're gonna go ahead and just see what the drivers do. Also, I do want to give a massive shout out and a massive thank you to Jacko Hunt for subscribing with Prime. You are absolutely fantastic, and we love and appreciate the support. Thank you so much for supporting what we do here at Rush Racing League. And so, Cooper, how do you feel about Monaco? Because I know Monaco is either a track you absolutely love or you absolutely despise.
Um, I like to say I'm quick, but at the same time, I crash about 20 times, so not too looking forward to it. Just hopefully I can survive in Div 2, and apart from that, we should be a-okay.
Indeed, yeah, and another thing about Monaco. I mean, for me, Monaco is a fun track to run around time trial, but running a race around here is it's tricky. So I have a lot of respect for these drivers for going ahead and just putting their foot down and just getting things done. So quality, we'll start from the top. The current championship leader in Division 4, Claire, does get a second win, if you will, because if you remember, Claire binned it straight out of the Sector 2 chicane. Or no, actually in the Sector 3 chicane around the swimming pool area. So Claire will get another chance at redemption. But in the meantime, we're going to jump on board with the teammate of Claire, of good old Hennessy. We'll see what Hennessy can do. He's about to go ahead and begin his flyer. A few drivers now kind of doing their flying laps here at the moment, so we'll see how these drivers go ahead and navigate this circuit. And we're going to go ahead and get right on board with Hennessy. Making his way, he's going to go ahead and begin the lap. Going down into turn number 1. It's a very hard braking zone there into turn number 1. He's going to make the run through this twisty section as he gets closer. A bit of a slide, I think, there for Hennessy. Making his way through the remainder of Sector 1. Now he's getting to one of the trickier parts. A part that really doesn't benefit this modern generation of Formula 1 car. Into the famous Monaco hairpin he goes. And then he's going to go ahead and make his way around the second hairpin. Making his way into the bridge. Or the tunnel, I apologize. So he's going to go ahead and put the foot to the floor. He's going to make his way through the tunnel. Get hit with the sun. Got to slow down. You got to be careful not to ding your left tire on the inside wall of this chicane. Something that I'm sure we have all done too many times to count. Now he's going to go and go through this swimming pool area. This is where we saw Claire crash out last time. So a light tap on the wall. Falcons, that's a good time to start us off with. A 1:11.545. But we'll see if Hennessy can match that. Let's see, he's going to come across the line. It is the time. Good enough for provisional pole. A 1:11.470. What a lap from the Red Bull. But before the red flag, we did see quite a few drivers hitting that 110 mark. And speaking of, there's a 110 right there.
Yeah, he just merged with a 10.777. There's Reckhoff also joining him in the 10.7s, just edging it into the 10.7s there. There's a two Asian just shy of the with a 10.8. He's very impressive. And before the red flag, we did see both Alpines were very quick around here. So it'll be interesting to see what Gangster can do on his lap. He's coming through the last couple of corners. Not much battery left. Through the final corner. Opens up the DRS and the battery. And he goes up to the line to set a 10.3. That is
Ooh,
very respectable that time. That is almost 4 tenths on Mertz in P2.
that is a rapid lap time there from the Alpine. What a lap there. I mean, Alpine, like we talked about before we hit the red flag, Alpine is in an interesting spot. They're tied for 5th in the constructors, but they're only 1 point behind 4th. So, I mean, they got a lot to play for here today as we jump down to Jeneth Lee. We jumped from the Red Bulls to the Racing Bulls. It is 4.1 seconds off there for Jeneth. Not a fully representative lap. And actually, let's jump down to Dynasty. Dynasty has yet to set a lap, and that will be the case for a little while longer because he does have a lap invalidation due to track limits. I can promise you that was definitely during one of the chicanes. Because I mean those chicanes, it's easier around this track to go ahead and get a track limits violation, and it just took to turn 1 for Brandy, aka Dynasty Sparrow, to go ahead and get another track limit violation. So Mercedes, they're on top of the overalls right now, at least after Jeddah, but it is going to be an interesting case to see if Mercedes can keep their form up or if they're just going to have a bit of a fall off here.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see. My prediction at the end of this week is Mercedes will drop to 4th in the overalls after this round.
Ooh.
That's my crazy pick.
So, what you're telling me is that if there was a Rush Racing Fantasy League, definitely do not pick Mercedes for this week or else you're going to lose some fantasy points. Got it. I will keep that in mind.
Just my crazy take, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, granted, they have yet to set times here in this short quali. That would check out, I would say. But obviously, once again, they haven't set any representative laps yet, or any laps at all, to be honest. Now, let's hop on board with a drive down. A lot of fanfare going into Jeddah of Nishka. Nishka jumping into the Haas for today's Grand Prix. He's going to go and make his way through the chicane directly after the tunnel, and it's going to go on one of the few high-speed sections of the track. We'll see what that sector time is. A 53.3. Pretty good start there to the lap. Getting pretty close to the wall. Going to go ahead and make the final 2 corners. Ooh, a bit of a slide. Maybe a bit of a wall tap there with that back left. Well, luckily the car is still in one piece. Going to burn all of the battery, come to the line, and it's good enough for P11. 2.4 seconds off of pole position.
Yeah, as we can also see, Jeneth is also on the lap. He's up by 4.5 tenths coming out of the middle sector, and he'll come up to the line and he'll improve to a 13.5, which still puts him last, but there's still plenty of time left in the session to go faster.
Indeed, and I'm even seeing some predictions in chat about potentially seeing McLaren move to the top of the constructors after this entire week's said and done. We'll have to see. McLaren is in a decent spot right now, P5 and P9. Not the greatest. I think the best team right now in Division 4, at least based on our current qualifying standings here as we go through 10 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. I mean, Alpine right now seem to be right on the ball. P1 to P4, it's definitely going to really help them. I don't know if they're going to jump up to the top of the standings, but they're certainly going to put a lot of points on the board if they can keep these positions and then keep them throughout the race.
Yeah, that would be the really main thing as we jump aboard here with Tyler Davey, who's currently going through the middle sector after hasn't set a lap time yet, so we'll see what he can produce. Is he coming for the right-hander? We'll put his overtake on, going through the tunnel, up into 6th, into 7th, burn that battery down, coming to my least favourite corner. I always bin it here, I don't know why, I'm just terrible at that corner. You come through now, going for the gears, in hot lap mode, still wouldn't recommend that. That's a 53.4 as Mertz has binned it in the middle sector, coming out the exit of turn 5 or 6, I do not know. You go back on board, Tom and Davey through corners, through the final corner now. A little bit of a rear slide there. And he will come up to the line to set a 12.7 for P13.
Now actually, yeah, I mean it probably will be P13 momentarily, but as of right now, P14 still not still not a fantastic start to the weekend for Mercedes. Not, I mean, if you qualify bad at Monaco, it's gonna be you're gonna have a really tough go at things. So yeah, it's unfortunate here for the Mercedes group. I mean, sometimes you're just gonna have bad weeks, but also, I mean, you're going from 100% Jeddah straight into a 50% Monaco. That's tough for anybody really, whether you're a rookie driver, experienced driver. It's two very tricky tracks, pretty much back to back. So it'll be interesting to see who can manage Monaco. I mean, we've seen some fantastic racing here in the past, and I will still stand on my belief of Rush Racing League is one of, if not the only place that can make Monaco an interesting race.
Yeah, it could definitely be that. Who's on the left of me? We've got some traffic in front of me. Oh, and he invalidates again. Dynasty. You do not want to keep burning those softs through. You need them. These qualifying. And still has not set a lap time. There's just over 7 minutes left in the session. We'll see if Dynasty can put a representative lap in. Now with little battery for his second run, I'd argue I'll just come straight back into the box and chuck on another set of tyres.
Yeah, I mean that's the benefit of having only a single qualifying session is that you had the same amount of softs to play with, but you don't have as many sessions to use them, so you can really get more use out of the softs. And I'd reckon that in terms of strategy, these teams will want to keep their their soft tires available so they could potentially chuck on a set when we start the race. Just because this
No, the
track,
race it will get restarted.
yeah. So I mean, this track really doesn't burn through tires compared to like a Barcelona or even Jeddah from last week. So it's a bit easier to keep.
Gangster.
Yeah, we'll talk about the tire stuff in a moment, but good grief, that's a lap from Gangster. Um,
9.8. That is rapid.
yeah, 9.8 indeed. That is a blasting time. Just under 6.5 tenths quicker than second place Reiko. So that is a fiery lap there. Alpine definitely came to play here this week. That is a certified fact. We'll see if his teammate can go ahead and get closer. We'll see if 2A can go ahead and jump into P2 here, or maybe even usurp his teammate of Gangster. Now, here's a fun fact that apparently is pretty well known in the Rush Racing League community, but I am just now finding out about this. Alpine is the only team in Rush Racing League to have their own Instagram account. So there is a Rush Racing League Alpine Instagram account. If you guys are curious and you want to go follow it, it is RLL_Alpine. That's the thing. And of course, always check out our social of Official Rush Racing on Instagram. Be sure to go ahead and like. We are currently doing a giveaway courtesy of Sim Racing Center. So go ahead and check out our most recent post to go ahead and get in on that giveaway. And once again, a massive thank you to Sim Racing Center. We love you guys and thank you for all the support. So we were down to about the last 5 minutes of quali here. Any driver you want to jump on board with, Cooper? Because I know there's quite a few.
Currently one of my own teammates, Mudpack, is currently on a lap going through the tunnel here. He's deploying the battery, going through the exit the tunnel now, coming through the most dangerous corner of the track, I'd argue. Through that left-hander, gets it through, nicely done, does not invalidate. Deploying more of that battery as he's better set, coming through the middle sector, and he's up by 2 tenths, which is very good improvement. Going through that final sector now, really important to keep it out of the barriers and make sure you do not bin it. The last thing, a bit wide, coming for that right-hander there. As he approaches the final corner now, puts the battery in, DRS down the floor, and will hopefully improve, and does an 11.5 up into P9.
That is a very good improvement there from Mudpack as we're down to the final 4 minutes of the qualifying session. We're going to check in on a few other drivers now. An interesting thing to note is that your eyes are not deceiving you. There is no mods enabled. The McLaren drivers have opted to switch to the chrome livery, which is a thing for F1 25, which I kind of wish was a thing in previous F1 games. But hey, it's better late than never, as this also happened in the North American division earlier as well. And for some hopium for the McLaren fans out here, so McLaren ran that livery, the chrome livery, when they raced at Spain earlier today in the North America division. Well, granted, North America just did their last preseason race. They won that race. So McLaren does have a 100% win rate with the chrome livery so far in Rush Racing League, unless they used it in Div 1. I don't know if they did or not, but otherwise, I mean, they won the last time they used that chrome livery, so maybe we'll see that again. Currently P6 and P11 for the McLaren duo. Not exactly the greatest of starts, and like we said earlier, it is very tricky to make positions up here at Monaco. But I mean, Rush Racing League, I mean, there's always some kind of action. The drivers will always find some way to provide us with beautiful racing.
Yes, most definitely. As GM Rain is coming for the last couple of corners, he's not sure if he's up on his time or not, but he's coming through the final corner. DRS metal to the floor, or foot to the floor, I should say, and does improve by 7/10 to do 11.1 and goes P8.
That is a very solid improvement there from the McLaren man, right up next to his teammate. Still out-qualified right now by the DNF Mertz, as also our current Division 4 championship leader of Claire has also opted to stay in the pits because of the crash that was sustained earlier on before the session got red flagged. But I mean, it's kind of an interesting area when it comes to the rule book, but we can talk about the rules and shenanigans later, because 2A just sent a purple sector 1 now, as we are on board with the Alpine for the final minute 20 left to go in the session. He's going to go ahead and make his way through the tunnel now. The Alpine driver going to go ahead and put foot to the floor. He's going to try to get right up behind the Red Bull. The Red Bull does get out of the way. Now, I feel like the best way you can make or break your lap is through these two chicanes. You have the one straight out of the tunnel, and then you have the swimming pool area section, which once again is another area where you can make or break your lap, as we saw Dynasty earlier getting several lap time infractions during that section of the track. 2A is going to put the hammer down, come across the line. We'll see what the time's going to sit. It is an Alpine one too, but still about half a second away from his teammate. That is still a fantastic lap. And actually, Claire is out now, so Claire is just now starting a lap.
It's good to see coming through the fast left-hander, almost clips the wall there. Has the teammate in front of Hennessy and moves out of the way. Oh my god, that is close. That is a Code Brown moment for the Red Bull TP, and Claire's gone too deep and has invalidated as well. So Claire will be starting P20 for the race.
And Dynasty moves out to P13 as he finishes his qualifying effort. 2A is about a second down, so I don't think he's going to go ahead and make an improvement. What about Hennessy? Is Hennessy improving? No, he is not. He is about 2 seconds down on this time. We'll jump 2 further spots down. What about the McLaren of F7? 3 seconds down. So these drivers are not quite improving on their final lap. What about Protein Group? Is Protein Group going to go ahead and muscle his way towards the top of the timing tower? This is pretty much the last lap for everybody. Hennessy's in the pits. Falcon's in the pits, so they're done. So our top 5 is at least temporarily settled. F7's in the pits. So I think there's a few drivers still out now. So Protein Group is going to go ahead and try to make magic happen here. Can he go ahead and bring the Tifosi to pole position here? He's going to go ahead and put the hammer down. He's going to burn it to the line. It's not going to be enough for pole position, but it'll be good enough for P8. And then we're going to jump down to Tyler. Is Tyler going to be able to improve? He does not improve. So it looks like Crew is the last one to come across the line, and that is that. So P18 for Crew. How do you make this qualifying session, Cooper? Because, I mean, it was a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, definitely. With the Alpine gain of 1-2 there, which is a very good strong showing for Alpine. With Gangster getting pole by 4.5 tenths over his teammate, that is an absolute domination from Gangster. The only one in the minute nines. Yeah, pretty strong showing from Alpine.
Indeed, so as we speed run through the rest of the grid, we have Reiko, Hennessy, Falcon, F7, Mertz, who's got P7 despite the crash of their protein group, GM Reigns, Mudpack, Pool Diver, Tyler Mandavy, NZT, Brandy, Nishka, Jeneth, Wog, Crew, Chidung, and Claire, with the final two not being able to set a lap. Chidung serving a qualifying penalty for his teammates, and Claire having an unfortunate moment and colliding with the wall, invalidating Claire's only potential lap. And it's going to be an interesting one to see.
Yeah, for sure, as the lobby will get restarted here so you can turn the ghosting back off.
Indeed. I did see that your chat or the audio was low for you in chat, so I'm going to try something on my end and see if that will improve him. I did bump your audio up a bit, so should be all good to go now.
Hope so. I've got my audio on my Mac, so hope that goes well as well.
Yeah, okay, you are significantly louder, and that's a good thing. So I
Cool.
think we did fix the low audio for Cooper, so hey, there we go.
Let's go.
So, yep, we are returning to live picture. Um, and the lobby is expected to get restarted, I think. So it may pull up another brief red flag. So well, but we're gonna get underway now. For now, we'll see if the lobby does get reset, and it's lights out, and away we go to begin this Monaco Grand Prix. Everybody is retiring, so this is indeed a lobby reset. So we are not officially underway yet. So once again, we're gonna bring up the red flag graphic. Unfortunately, the red flag graphic does not have audio, so if you're wondering about that, that's just how the how the red flag graphic is. We're gonna go ahead and bring up that graphic once again, and we'll be back once we get going with the race.
Let's do it.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, the lobby has been reset once again, and we are back to live racing pictures. And we are not going to go through qualifying again. We have the qualifying order set from the session earlier, so we're just going to jump straight on into the race. But the question is that with this lobby reset, are you expecting that a majority of the drivers are just going to jump straight onto the soft tires because the tires that they used in qualifying basically don't exist anymore, so they just get free tires now coming into this Grand Prix?
Yeah, so they do get reset, so every driver will have at least 3 sets of sauce. I still wouldn't recommend doing that as the tyre wear around this track is a bit rubbish and they will just die out quickly if you are mid-pack towards the rear of the field.
Well, not as much as a Barcelona or even a Miami to an extent. But yeah, I mean, tire management in this game is such a hassle, and it's really tricky. It's a massive learning curve if you're coming from F124 and you're like, oh, time management's kind of easy. And then 25 just hits you in the face with the reality that tire wear is completely different. I have also heard that it is actually drastically worse if you're on a controller compared to a wheel, which, I mean, I play on a controller, so I mean, I can definitely notice it, but
I do as well. I
yeah,
feel
so
it as
we
well.
both feel it. We both feel the pain there of dealing with the controller shenanigans. What controller do you use, by the way?
PS5,
Gotcha.
just a just a regular one.
I use one that's kind of similar. I use the, well, granted mine's a bit more expensive. I have the Red Bull Racing SCUF controller that came out like around Christmas last year.
Nice.
It kind of feels like an Xbox controller just with a few extra paddles on the back. It was actually really fun to use it for it's a surprisingly fun control to use for an FPS game and also for racing. I mean, hey, it's almost like a wheel because you can map the buttons for the paddles on the back to be like your shifter paddles. So, I mean, there's a lot of fun
Yeah,
stuff you can do with it.
very solid.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get to racing action this time for real, and it is lights out and away we go. And there's already caution in the midfield there, but that is to be expected. It is Monaco lap one, turn one, and Reiko was looking to take a position as we make our way up through the streets, going down into turn number 5, I believe that is, making their way down to the hairpin. A good start there for the Alpines, still P1 and P2, although we're seeing a few position changes here. Side by side going into the hairpin, that is always kind of a dicey one as we watch all 20 of these
Oh,
extremely
multiple
talented
cars to the
drivers.
back.
And sure
Again,
enough,
just T-bone each other in the rear because of this concertina effect there. One car going braking a bit earlier, and then just everyone else just ramming into the back of each other. So a couple of drivers might have some damage. We might see some lap one pit stops here.
yeah, so I see um, the I see Tyler, NZT, and Nishka all having one of their front end plates removed. I actually believe it's all the same front end plate being removed off the car. Yeah, so it's the front right end plate is just gone off of those cars, the aforementioned cars. But look at this now. We're taking a look at Alpine dominance in the making. I mean, 2 Asian for you has already broken out of DRS range of Reiko Ralph. So really now it's just him and his teammate just kind of working together to get to the end of this. So let's go ahead and pull up the tires here. So we'll see what tire everybody's running. So um, Dynasty's running the soft tire. Everybody else is running the medium with the exception of Claire, Poole, and Mertz. All those drivers opting to run for the hard compound of tire as we jump on board with the Aston Martin. So Aston Martin in general has opted to run that hard tire. So that's an interesting call. It allowed them to go longer on this track without having to get a pit stop. So it could work out for an overcut, but I mean, obviously, safety cars are still very much a possibility here around the circuit. So, I mean, when a safety car comes out, all of your strategy stuff kind of just goes out of the window.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and then who knows? We might see a couple of safety cars. We might not see none. It's Monaco, and there's a red Ferrari. It's NZT again going into damage, and we'll pull into the box and get to 10 seconds
Ooh.
speed in the pit lane, as well as Walkjet and crew also coming in as well. So they come in side by side, funny enough, and then well, the game just put crew backwards, so that's lovely.
Yeah, interesting stuff here happening at Monaco. We are breaking
Yep.
the laws of
Oh,
physics.
Dynasty! Dynasty's around at turn 1. Don't know
A
what happened to Dynasty, but those softs, it's killed him.
a bit of a interesting start, and he spins it again. Dynasty might
Oh
have rear
no.
wing damage, so that
Wing.
might be his race done and dusted.
Yeah. There's also crew has pitted onto these soft tyres, looking to take advantage of the free areas, but although being
Oh,
not within DRS. And Dynasty has
Dynasty.
spun once again.
Yeah, Dynasty might have some. I mean, Dynasty's definitely got significant damage now on that Mercedes. He probably just needs to let the racing ball of Jenna through. But once again, it's Monaco. There's not really a lot of good opportunities to let a car through. I mean, that car is basically held together by duct tape and dreams at this point. So Brandy slash Dynasty needs to just come into the pits and just give it up. I mean,
And he's just gone straight on.
yep, and that's a caution again. Yep, that car is definitely on not exactly the best of times at the moment. We'll see. Dynasty is going to go and make his way back to the pits. I mean, that Mercedes is definitely struggling. Jumping back up here to the front, Reiko Ralph is still within DRS range here of both 2A and Gangster, so still within that crucial DRS range here as they make their way through the tunnel. There's really only one DRS zone, and it's on the start-finish straight. It's not really a great one as we get a beautiful view of all these hyper expensive yachts and boats lining the circuit here at Monaco, watching these 20 very talented drivers make their way through the streets as we see Reiko still trying to catch up to the Alpines just up ahead. And I mean, so far, this is definitely the weekend Alpine would have wanted for certain. I mean, if all else, they may take the lead in the constructors here in Division 4, but if they finish this race like this, then they're going to earn a very healthy amount of points for the overalls.
Yeah. And we did see 2 Asian did also get past Gangster for the lead of the race. So a bit of a swap there for the 2 Alpine drivers, as they'll be looking to work together to pull away from the rest of the field here.
Indeed.
Nearly
So,
flag, and
whoa!
Dynasty is around again. It is that rear wing. But he has some time to... Oh, and he's reset to track there? Not too sure about that.
Not sure about that indeed. We know Dynasty is a quick driver, but it's just not his day today.
Yeah.
Monaco's a tough track too, so I mean it's if you don't do a full counter on your career mode for F1, you're 9 times out of 10 gonna want to skip Monaco, but yeah, it's always tough here. I mean, like, it's really hard to regain your momentum around this track. Like, once you lose that momentum, and once you kind of lose your mojo around this track, you lose that driver confidence, then it is so hard to get that back. As we're gonna jump up a few spots to Chidong, closing in the gap to Nishka here. We'll see if he can get the move done into this DRS zone. Not very likely because this is one of the weaker DRS zones in Formula 1. So now they're going to make their way up through the streets.
Cheetong also has a bit of damage missing his left front end plate as well.
But you need every bit of downforce that you could possibly muster going through Monaco. The one track that you'll have the most downforce on. The second track you'll have a lot of downforce on is Hungary. But Monaco, you're definitely going to want to run at least close to maximum downforce.
As Joe Asian has broken DRS from his teammate Gangster, so Gangster might have a little bit of problem with some pace the issue, or it could be just the tyre wear starting to kick in a lot. But he'll be under pressure from Recco Ralph in P3. Without DRS, it's going to be a bit of a struggle straight, but he'll have to help with the Monaco barriers to help him defend that P2.
Indeed, so we'll see if Gangster can hold on, because I mean, in particular around this track, I have seen a Haas make a massive dive to get some positions here before. It was 2 seasons ago with Sammy the Slammer in a Haas making some masterful moves around the circuit. We'll see if his spirit can go into the Haas of Reiko, and we'll see if he can make some pretty amazing moves. He's staying within DRS range though, which is very crucial here if he wants to have any prayer of getting an overtaken done around here. But I'm going to jump back actually, because it looks like we have a potentially very interesting gaggle of cars back here towards P7. As we see F7 trying to chase down Falcon here, but just out of DRS range, so that's going to be a task easier said than done. Protein directly behind, and he's got more of a realistic chance of trying to get any kind of overtake done here, as Protein is going to go ahead and just chase down the McLaren, chasing down the Chrome car as he's going to try to jump up into 7th, having well, it looked like a bit of a wiggle there, but we're still continuing on, and oh, he's coming into the pits, so that's an interesting call.
Yeah, as there's a yellow flag going in the middle sector. Very unsure. Oh, it's clear away, so back to green flag.
Yeah, it was
as well as
Dynasty.
Mudpack also comes into the box.
Kind of early for a stop, I would imagine. So, yeah.
Dynasty's letting people through. That's the yellow flag, and I think he's broken his front wing as well. And he's dropped the car in the worst spot. Oh!
Walkjet is out.
And that's a safety car.
That is a safety car indeed. Yeah, I mean that. I don't think. I mean, there's a reason why I'm not a steer, but it's kind of hard to really penalize Dynasty for that, because I mean he spun.
Dynasty has 20 seconds now. He's got 10 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, so
he does.
Mean, he spun, and then without even a chance to really try to get out of the way, Walkjet just comes on through and just gets absolutely slammed. So yeah, I mean, at least he's got a good chance to really serve that penalty now. He's in the box now, serving that penalty, but...
Oh, 2 Asian. Spin on the safety car, he's got a drive-through. Oh. That is very unfortunate for the Alpines. And a little stack there which will hold Gangster, which could allow Recco Ralph to possibly jump Gangster here, and he will.
Yeah, interesting stuff here.
So, point in time, Recco Ralph will be the provisional lead, because when 2 Asian has to serve that drive-through. It's very unfortunate.
I mean, Alpine's weekend was looking so good. The drivers had some really good pace around this circuit. I mean, they were consistently keeping Reiko just out of arm's reach, just without any real estate to try to get a move done. But then you double stack him in the pits, so Reiko gets a jump onto Gangster, and then 2A gets hit with a penalty for speeding under a safety car. So, yeah, I mean, Alpine's week. It started off strong, but it's just kind of crumbling apart here now. As we continue under the safety car, just gonna go to read through chat again, make sure I didn't miss anything.
And what's important here is Dynasty is in front of Hennessy, who is P4. So on the safety car restart, it'll be very interesting to see what Dynasty will do. Will he move straight out the way, or will he just fall in line as he pretends he's P4?
Indeed. So just make sure I didn't miss any requests here in chat. So looks like I didn't miss any chat requests, thankfully. I mean, chat did get pretty active here.
And Dynasty has pulled into the pit lane to serve. I think he had a couple of penalties to serve, so...
Yeah, I think he had 2 penalties to serve.
Yeah.
Also, Vettel did, at least according to Twitch chat, Vettel did actually ask Dynasty to retire the car. So that might be what's happening here. We might see our second retirement of the race, but that incident with Wagja was just really unfortunate. I mean, I can't really blame. I mean, I, yeah, you can make the argument of Dynasty should have just called it quits earlier because that car was purely undrivable. It was basically like trying to drive a drag car around this track from the looks of things. But also in that particular incident, I mean, he spawned and then Wagjet had nowhere to go, and Dynasty didn't really have any time to go anywhere, so yeah, just kind of caught in a really bad situation there. But I mean, it'll spice up Monaco a bit because now a lot of these drivers have pitted in and have all pretty much switched to brand new tires. The only driver not on a new-ish tire is the driver of Jenneth Lee, currently P15 in the Racing Bull. But I mean, safety car is not coming in this lap, I don't think. So it'll be at least a lap 12 before we get back to green flag conditions. And then I think pretty much now, I mean, maybe aside from pool diver, I think it's probably just going to be a sprint to the finish, just because I think everyone's going to try to hold on to these tires to the end.
Yeah. And apparently rumored in the chat, Thunder Killer is saying rain in 10 minutes. That will spice this race up a lot.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. So I mean, once again, I mean, if that's the case, then pool diver might actually have done a really good strat, trying to run the softs and trying to go ahead and get through and just try to really just be as quick as you can until the rain comes in. So I mean, expect a lot of activity in the pits here. So, okay, I'm going to ask you for a prediction here, Cooper. So, on what lap are you predicting that rain is going to show up? Because rain is going to be in about 10 minutes, but we don't know how much longer the safety car is going to go on for. So, I mean, that could really mean a good variety of laps here. I believe he muted himself.
No, I'm here. I said lap 19.
Gotcha, it just now came through. So lap 19 is the prediction.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me think
Safety car's in.
Oh, safety car
Safety
is
car's
in.
in.
All right. Well, lap 12 will be back to green flag action. Here on Monte Carlo, I'm going to go ahead and push it just a tad later with my prediction. I'm going to say 21. I'll say it's going to have a bit of a 2-lap margin there.
Oh, there's damage in the middle of the pack. Mudpack gets a 10-second collision with Tommy Davis. There's some point maybe brake check or something. Because I saw a bit of a front wing come flying off. So very interesting, weird restart as Two Asian gets the race back going. F7 has a 10-second for ignoring yellow flags. So this race is just getting flipped on its head.
Indeed. As we get to green flag action, we are 2 viewers away from having 70 viewers here in the chat. You guys are absolutely awesome. We love you guys so much. A massive thank you to everybody in chat watching the stream, wherever you may be watching it from. Whether you're watching it from the USA and it is 4:11 a.m. or if you're watching it from Australia where it is the correct time zone. I wouldn't know because I am part of that American group, but wherever you may be watching from, your support is greatly appreciated. So thank you guys so much. And back to the racing action here. Indeed, Gangster is pretty much right at the gearbox of Reiko. So we'll see if he can try to get a move done. We haven't seen a lot of overtakes, which is pretty characteristic of Monaco, just because you don't really have a lot of room to really make any major moves happen. So you really just gotta wait for your opponent to make a mistake, as we are expecting rain around lap 19 to lap 21. That is the window given by ourselves here in the commentary box. Cooper saying it's gonna be lap 19. I'm saying it's gonna be 21. And watch us both be wrong, and it's straight in the middle, but rain is really going to spice this track up, just because, I mean, rain in this game, I mean, you either are really good in the rain or you're really rough in the rain, so it looks like there might have been a slight incident with the Visa Cash App Racing Bull drivers. Maybe, yeah, there's a bit of, there's actually a good amount of damage on Janet's car, missing both end plates on the front end of the V car, and his
It was
teammate
Crew who spun Claire into turn 1.
noted. So that's that incident that will be looked at by the stewards as the 3 Red Bull cars are making their way through, going towards the tunnel. All 3 of them having damage as they make their way through. Claire is going to go try to get a move done into the tunnel, trying to get past Crew. Nothing happens there. We'll see into chicane and a bit of contact there. And Crew does get a penalty.
From that.
Crew does get a 3-second time penalty, which I think, considering the circumstances,
As Paul Diver's made a mistake, he's got broken front wing, and we'll pull in the box to repair it. So his strategy on the softs has not paid off at all with the damage now.
indeed. Alright, so
As we got a request from Yuki on board of Dynasty for a lap. This will be fun.
indeed. I was actually just about to mention that, so we'll jump on board with Dynasty for a lap. He's still letting cars through. He's still got rear wing damage, I think, so that car is basically a Need for Speed traffic car at this point. So he's going to go ahead and park it here and let these cars go on through. He's going to let the Ferrari through. Not exactly parked in a super great spot, but once again, parking in Monaco, just like Southern Florida, is kind of scarce at times. So he's going to go ahead and just continue to navigate through the hairpin. He's got to be very gentle with this car, though, because this car is literally held together by duct tape and dreams. He is super slow going through the tunnel. I think he's going to let the McLaren and Aston through. Now he's been lapped by the entirety of the field. And Dynasty is now going to try to maybe try to hustle his way back into the pits. 2A is in the pits now, so that's an interesting one. So that's going to change things up a bit. No rain yet, but still about 4-ish laps until we are expected to have rain. So this has been a very peculiar race so far, I must say.
Yeah, as Jennifer and Crew come into a double stack here at RB, so I think it might have been a miscommunication there. So unfortunately, Crew will get held up below. As Pool Diver comes back into the pit lane again, and he's come back for a second front wing in back-to-back laps. This race just gets from bad to worse for these cars at the rear of the field.
Yeah, 100%. As we are wrapping up the lap of Dynasty here, he's just kind of gingerly coasting his car through the city. I'm surprised he hasn't retired yet in that Mercedes. Yeah, because he's not in a points-paying position, because the points go to the top 15 here at Rush Racing League, so he's not in a points-paying position. And he's basically a lap down from everybody, now getting to the point where it's soon to be 2 laps down off everyone, just because that car just has no kind of pace, really, just because of that rear wing damage. So, I mean, that car's got to get retired sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he has been always TP to retire the car. He doesn't seem to be listening to it at all. He reckons he can still score maybe a point or two. He just needs a few more cars to retire from the race, and he gets that 1 point, which could happen with the rain not far away, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
But, I mean, that's got to be
Let
frustrating.
more cars go through. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and such early on in the race as well. Like, he's still got another 24 odd laps to go, and he's still cruising out there.
yeah, that's got to be really. I mean, we know Dynasty's got some really crazy pace. Because, I mean, I've commented on a few races where Dynasty has just been a very solid competitor. And also with Mercedes being on top of that timing tape, or of the constructors and the overalls at the moment, I mean, you know that he wants to continue that. And, I mean, you predicted earlier that Mercedes is going to drop to 4th potentially after this week. Alpine's definitely going to move up if they can get 2A back into this fight. because 2A did have to pit earlier on. But I mean, yeah, this has just been a weekend to forget for Mercedes. Oh, Jennifer's out, so that's another DNF. And that's a safety car that's having a bit of a tough time, but it is safety car number 2 of the session. And I do see the notification request for a onboard with 2A. We will do that once we get back under green flag conditions. So that request will be honored. It'll just be after the safety car because you're not going to get much of a good lap under safety car conditions. Yeah, so now, yeah, pretty much everybody's just going to go ahead and just try to call in the pit stop here, try to go ahead and get everything situated and ready to go. Trying to make a solid dash just before we get to the rain. So another set of hards going on there for Reiko. The sky is starting to get darker here, so we are definitely potentially going to see that rain coming in sooner rather than later, I would imagine. So we might see it. It might actually now be lap 22 or 23, considering the safety car being a thing now. Or it could be directly on your lap prediction of lap 19.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, Rico boxing. I'm very surprised that you've done that, as Cheetang has boxed for intermediates.
Ooh, that's a gamble.
That is a gamble. That could pay off for him potentially. He's hoping that rain will bucket down very shortly. And as him being on my team, I'm hoping for the same thing. No bias whatsoever here.
Cue the McLaren bias jokes from last season. But yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a gamble to run that intermediate tire at this stage. I wonder who else is going to try to follow that, because, I mean, it's not likely that Reiko is going to try, because he just boxed in for hards. So, yeah, I'm curious to see. I mean, we did see last week where Ferrari pitted in for full wets at Jeddah. We did see that.
As Paul Diver has.
All right, we'll see about. Yeah, Pool Diver has also opted for the intermediate, so we'll see who else makes the call for the inters. I don't know about you, Cooper. I don't see rain just yet, but I got a feeling. As a Floridian, it is my nature to sense when rain is coming, and rain is definitely just around the corner. As I believe his mic might have done a disconnect. Well, we're going to go ahead and try to get that sorted up. So it's kind of an interesting thing to note is Hennessy is actually kind of brought back into this one, but the question is when do these other drivers make the call for the inters? Because now it's both of the Salberts and Pool Diver on those intermediate tires now, so they're gonna definitely try to gamble and strike while the iron's hot. So we'll see.
Testing 1, 2.
There we go. He is back.
Wait. There's a bit of collision going on. Protein has lost a couple of positions. I think had a collision with either Tyler Medavy or Brandy. Nope, it must have been with Tyler at the hairpin. I saw him drop a couple of spots, so very weird.
Ooh, here we go. So, if you guys are here, go ahead and jump into the Twitch chat, and we have a prediction going on. How many drivers will finish the Grand Prix? So, the options are 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, or 5. So far, 69% of the chat has opted to say 12 drivers are going to finish the race, so we're expecting another handful of DNFs. I'm gonna say, I mean, I would pick 17 because I think we're only gonna get one other DNF, but I'm gonna go ahead and put some points in here as well. So go ahead and get amongst the polls and the predictions, because I mean, the one thing about racing that is predictable is the fact that it is unpredictable. So yeah, I mean, anything can happen here at Rush Racing League. Anything can happen around the streets of Monte Carlo. And anything can happen when you're racing these absolutely stunning pieces of technological achievement in these Formula One cars.
I'm predicting 14 cars will finish, so another 4 DNFs. As according to the Twitch chat, Dynasty has boxed 6 times this race. He is going for the world record of most pit stops.
I mean, if another 3 cars DNF, then he just needs to finish to get points. So, safety car is coming in this lap. It is going to be on lap 21 out of 39, and it looks like.
And there's still no rain.
Yeah, so I was just gonna mention that. It looks like our prediction about the rain is gonna be incorrect, as we see Gangster.
Yours might still happen.
I'm actually seeing the sun from this particular camera angle, so maybe that we'll see. But we'll see how these intermediate drivers fare on this still dry track, as we are back to green racing conditions here. Gangster is gonna go ahead and start. He got a good launch there, ahead of Hennessy, ahead of Mertz, ahead of Reiko. So, but Reiko is on the freshest tires out of the bunch. But when that rain kicks in, will it even matter that he's on those fresher tires? Because he's got a box for inters anyway.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if he can get past. He's about 9 tenths behind, but going for the slow section and getting held up, he will obviously catch up. Those new tyres to his advantage and maybe grab a couple of spots, see if he can get back into that P1. And it is raining. It's rain on lap 21, so your prediction is correct.
Woo! I think that's the prediction we should push at. But yes, here we go. We can see they're faint, but they are here. The raindrops are falling. The intermediate drivers are going to be in a bit of a better spot now, considering that the rain has now started to fall. The Kick Saubers now, who were just noted for doing the Ferrari strategy from Jeddah, it's kind of paid off for them, because now, unlike the Ferrari strat in Jeddah, now we actually do see the rain here. And we see that those intermediates are going to be the tire to use coming up here very shortly.
As Falcon has been into the pit lane?
Oh,
well, he's been in the final. He's been in the pit lane with Protein, so they're coming in straight away for inters. They're not waiting around.
I mean, you might as well. The early bird is going to get the worm here, so that's going to promote Sauber up a few spots, and Falcon's going to get a new
as
wing.
well. Yeah, as well as Crew and NZT also coming in for some intermediates.
So we'll see when these lead drivers go ahead and make the switch. Reiko, oh, a bit of a snap there from Mertz going through the exit of the hairpin. So it's definitely already getting tricky out here on the streets of Monaco. A bit more of a slide from both the Haas and the Aston Martin. They go through the tunnel now. Crew gets a penalty for crossing the pit exit line, which is a brutal penalty on this track. Well, on any track for that matter, but still, it's a very particularly annoying one to get, but we'll see. Reiko is pretty much right up on the gearbox of Mertz now, so we'll see if there's going to be a pass being made, but considering the track condition right now, I mean, you're not going to make any kind of passes at this point. You might as well just wait for the enters.
Yeah, I'd box now if I'm the front runners and take those new inters as Gangster, Hennessy, Mertz, and Rico Ralph all come in. We'll see what two Asian will follow them in. The little Tokyo Drift come in. F7 also comes in. And it seems like everyone will now be following everyone in. So we'll see when Mudpack comes out to the likes of Gangster and all that, where we come out in front. Where that gamble has paid off. And looks like he will. And same with Chiang. So it's kick 1-2.
Whoa, hey, we were talking during the second red flag, how you said you wish it was a Sauber 1-2.
Gangster free second time out of corner cutting.
I know earlier you were saying that you were wishing it was a Sauber 1-2 instead of an Alpine 1-2. but your wish, at least for right now, has indeed been granted. It is a Sauber one, too. At the moment here, their early call to jump onto the intermediates has paid them dividends. That is a fantastic, fantastic call there from the Sauber team. And what is also fantastic is we have 70 viewers in chat at the moment. Thank you guys so much. We love you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts. And to the amazing 70 people watching this stream, stick around because after the stream, after we run through our interviews, we have division number 2 coming up around Monaco. So if you
Oh,
like Monaco,
Mertz and Hennessy. Oh, Mertz and Hennessy.
ooh,
Hennessy's just gone to the wall there. Mertz almost could have been half spun. I think Mertz was half spun there, but I don't know who's at fault there. Maybe we'll let that to the stewards if it is reported. As Tyler Davey gets a 3 second for multiple warnings, and he is Tokyo drifting around the entire track.
yeah, and actually speaking of drivers who were Tokyo drifting, I gotta check back in on a Mercedes, man, as we see Dynasty coming out of the pits for time number 8, I want to say. Pit stop 8, I think, is the number he is on right now, as we see
Pit stop 7.
Pit stop 7, alright, so as we see 2A and
Oh,
Tyler.
Mertz and Hennessy! Oh, Mertz and Hennessy. And swapping positions here, so very great battling here from Mertz and Hennessy here. And jostling for position. They've lost 2 seconds to Gangster, but, you know, as maybe if they, you know, put some brains together, they could catch up and work together here.
And actually, I'm gonna take a look because I believe we were actually owed a. Yes, so we do have an onboard lap for 2A that we are actually owed, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So we're gonna go on board with 2A, and oh, look at that spray! Oh, it's gotta be tricky to see. Is he's thinking about making a dive up Tyler Van Davey? Doesn't quite get it done. Not enough real estate there. Hennessy gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. He will join the penalty club as the penalties are currently displayed on your screen. It is a yellow for a McLaren.
It's Dynasty. It's Dynasty.
I see.
Just
Yeah,
slowing down lane cars through.
And 2A.
Still Asian gets a 3 second.
Yep, 2 Asian gets a 3-second time penalty, so he'll join the penalty club now as he's pretty much right behind Tyler. He might try to send it out at this point because, I mean, he started in 2nd, now he's down in 10th. This is definitely not the position he wants to be in. He won't lose any positions really because of NCT being about 10 seconds behind. So we're seeing a very good pressure being applied here by 2A onto Tyler. We'll see if Tyler is going to be able to withstand that pressure. He's going to send it deep up the inside.
Oh,
What a
Tyler,
maneuver from 2A. That was dicey stuff, but he made that move happen. What a dive. I mean, I'm sure there was contact, so not the cleanest move. But
yeah,
man.
Tyler did make contact with the wall. He's very fortunate to get away without any damage, but I wonder if that was too close to call, I reckon, but we'll see. As 2A has made the move for P9, so hopefully he can now use his pace and catch up to the likes of Protein and Pulldiver.
Yeah, I mean, that was a heck of a send there, as Pulldiver does get a 3-second time penalty. So his penalty will, actually no, he just now joined the penalty club at 3 seconds. So the driver's currently with penalties at the moment. Chidong has 3 seconds of time penalties. Gangster will have 3, Hennessy will have 3, Pulldiver, 2 Asian, and Tyler will have 3, and Crew will have 13 seconds of time penalty. So it's been a bit of a rough day in the office for the Racing Bulls. And oh, we're seeing a potential battle here between Gangster and Mertz. Mertz shaking for any kind of position that he could try to weasel away from Gangster. He's pretty much right up the gearbox now as they go through the hairpin. They're still trying to close the gap to the Saubers. But the Saubers are on track for a 1-2 finish here at Monaco, which would do wonders for them in the overalls.
No boastry here, but up the kicks.
Yeah, sure, totally no bias here. But I mean, yeah, I mean, bias or not, you got to hand it the kicks because um, whether it's the team principal or the engineers, whichever one was responsible, I think it's more on the engineer side, but they made a fantastic call. Whiff is probably very happy right now, very proud of his team here. Potentially going to go and take a double or a 1-2 here in Division 4. We'll just see if they can keep their pace up for Division 3, or sorry, Division 2 that's coming up just shortly after this one. Sauber right now is in second. So this is actually really good for them in the overalls because Mercedes right
Yeah.
now, they're struggling. One driver's not in the points and has so much damage that the game can't even keep track of how many laps down he is. And the other one's only a P10. So Sauber's really trying to push it here and really trying to get this 1-2 to happen. And actually, I believe, well, this would be their second win of the season because they got a Division 2 win in Jeddah. So,
Yep. My teammate Grizz, he drove a stellar performance in Saudi and won the race.
indeed, and it's another fantastic drive here from the Saubers. But we're still on board with this very interesting battle of Mertz trying to chase down and pass Gangster. And it is once again the Mercedes going ahead
Dynasty getting lapped again. Probably the second or third time now. At this point, I just bring the car in, just retire.
I mean, he is holding on for the hope of points. Because apparently, if Thubo car is DNF and he finishes the race, then he still gets points. So, I don't know.
Chat is requesting gap to leader.
Gap to leader is a request that will most certainly be given. Here we go. So here's the gap to leader right now as it stands. And ask and ye shall receive. And asking for battles around Monaco is usually a bit of a tall order. But Gangster and Mertz are making sure that we get battles. These two cars are running side by side. This is really risky racing here from this group. I mean, I guess Alpine just has a penchant for getting into risky battles here. Is he going to be sent to the inside for Mertz? He's going to try! And it's a bit of contact. No. He sent it, but it got lost in the mail. And that is contact once again.
So it's also that Hennessy to catch right back up as well. Hennessy was about 3 seconds away from this before they had their little moment together. And now he's right back with it. So see if Mertz will try for another move later. It does seem Mertz is probably the faster driver on those inters at the moment in the rain than Gangster, but don't know why Mertz is pushing so much. I think he's just trying to get past and put a challenge to the two kicks, but with penalty to Gangster and without penalty to Mertz, he'd be wanting to probably try and back off a little bit and hold the position down, not trying to get any penalties, not any damage, and just survive.
Yeah, so Protein has got a 3-second time penalty for track limit violation. A bit of a snap there from Mertz, so that's going to give a bit of extra breathing room to Gangster now. But I mean, the gap that the Saubers have is actually pretty nice if you're a fan of the Sauber group. Because Shidung, he's got 3 seconds of penalties, but his teammate is 8 seconds back. So, I mean, Shidung, I mean, here's the thing. He was serving a qualifying penalty. Well, he served a quality penalty. And then he, actually, I think I did make a incorrect statement earlier on. He did not take a quality ban for his teammate, quality ban for his teammate. I think he just earned that one on his own. But
he did, yes.
Yeah, because I was getting confused because in the NA race earlier, Yog, who was the driver I was referring to, he was driving a Sauber, so that threw me off a bit. Apologies for that bit of misinformation towards the beginning of the stream. But still, the important thing is that Chidung had a quality ban at the beginning of the race, which is usually a death sentence here in Monaco. But now he's in the lead with about 10 racing laps left to go here. And he's got a chance to win this whole thing. So, I mean, I know it's a bit early to start talking about driver of the day, but I mean, I think we both have a very clear answer of who that is.
Yeah, he's up 18 positions, so he's basically done a last to first at the moment.
Yeah, that's I think that might be the understatement of the century, as we see the Saubers pretty much just dominating. But here we go, we're back with this battle here between Gangster and Mertz. Once again, these two are fighting tooth and nail. The number 29 Aston Martin is chasing down the Alpine, trying to get any kind of gap. He tried it earlier at this spot. He doesn't try it again. It didn't work out so well from last time. I'm actually surprised that there isn't really any damage on either car really from that moment, but yeah, but these two are close. Ooh, a bit of a wall tap there for Mertz. That is not going to do your tire any favors.
See, as Gangster and Mertz have slowly got to the back of Mudpack here, but with these conditions and the track being Monaco, it's going to be hard to overtake here, so it'll be interesting to see how Gangster will get past Mudpack and when he can do it, if he has a chance. Ooh. As Mudpack is struggling on those inters, they are 4 laps older than Gangsters, but we'll see what he can do, see if he can hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, he's going to try to play the wingman in the Sauber team. He's just going to go ahead and try to just keep Gangster and Mertz behind him. I mean, that's the thing about Monaco, is that it's really easy to do that. If your teammate is trying to pull a gap, it's really easy to keep those cars behind, just considering that it is so hard to overtake here when you're trying to get an overtake. But if you're defending, then whew, good luck.
As Claire gets past NZT, and oh, a bit of into the wall there for NZT. As we've also seen, Dynasty has been lapped again.
I've lost count of how many times poor Dynasty has been lapped here.
Apparently he's on lap 24 and the lead's on lap 31, so apparently he's like 7 laps down almost.
Yeah, that's about right in terms of math. So
yeah, so not a good day in the office to be a Mercedes driver for the start.
Yeah, so once again, I mean, if you want to talk about a driver who's also probably getting very frustrated, it's got to be Mertz. He's tried to shake for so many opportunities to get a move done onto Gangster, but ooh.
2 Asian at 10-second time penalty for corner cut, and he's gone into the wall. He's got damage. As Bulldog gets past 2 Asian, don't know what's happened there. He's blocking up back there, but he's missing his entire front wing. Yeah, he's missing his entire front wing, so I don't know what's happened. But he will be most certainly doubt boxing, and Alpine's day just gets bad to worse.
Yeah, I mean, Alpine had such a strong start to the day. Front row lockout.
Oh, Mertz! Gangster's on his side.
Whoa!
Oh my
God.
Whoa! I know the phrase that Rebel gives you wings, but I didn't know they gave them to... As 2 Asians boxed for wets. So... That's... I mean, I got no words for that. That's... Wow.
I have only seen this happen one other time before. I have seen this at Baku with a set of McLarens doing that. That wasn't a rush race, that was a different race, but still, wow. Ooh.
That is incredible.
You need another word for that. That's not even a code, Brown. That's
Code black. That's crazy.
Yeah, you just defied gravity.
As Gangster is missing his entire front wing, so that's both Alpine drivers missing both front wings. Stojan's got boxed onto wets. So the Alpine 1-2 has vanished.
I don't normally jump on the bandwagon when it comes to this this particular phrase, but it must be said. It's coming from the Twitch chat. It's not coming from me, but Alpine is in the mud at this moment.
In the mud.
In the mud. This
or
is
I'd
not
say
going...
in the bin.
this is not going on the Alpine Rush Racing League Instagram page for certain.
Yeah.
I'm. They haven't have any. They don't have any posts yet on that page. I'm sure they would have loved
Oh.
to post about a 1-2 victory, but now they're
And now
barely.
Mertz is on the back of Mudpack here.
Yeah, they're
I do
barely
apologize
at
for
reaching
interrupting.
points. But yeah, I mean, Aston Martin has a chance to potentially shake up this pack here and interrupt the Sauber 1-2. But I mean, still, Sauber is. They're doing very good. And I think Mudpack. I mean, yeah, it's clear that Mudpack doesn't quite have the pace. And if Mertz gets past, then Mertz is going to pretty much drive off into the metaphorical sunset. But wow, he is literally glued to the transmission of that Sauber. I mean, you can't get much closer than that.
No, you cannot. Well, if it was an Alpine, it'd be right on it and making it go more right on the wall. But as you start lap 34, 6 laps remaining. Also, the big question will be what exactly happened with Mertz and Gangster. That will be investigated by the stewards. No doubt, I'll be surprised if it doesn't get reported. It could be noted, but yeah, we'll see what happens here as Mertz continues to be all over the back of Mudpack here.
Ooh.
Probably will look for a mirror at the inside here. Mudpack defends.
Ooh. Yeah, that could have ended pretty roughly there for Mertz. He got pretty slidey there going into, but he's also missing a good part of his wing and a gentle little nudge here, just to remind Mudpack that
And,
I'm right behind you. So that is
and Dynasty has been lapped again.
uh, Mercedes in the mud, Alpine in the mud. It's been a rough.
Driver daytime. Who is? Well, I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah,
Cheetong.
I don't think. Yeah, I was about to
Cheetong.
say. I mean, there's going to be times as we continue being the commentary duo here in Division 4 that we're going to have a bit of a discussion when it comes to driver of the day. Today is not that day. I think we both have a very clear answer of our pick for driver of the day, and it's got to be this man right here on your screens. It's got to be Cheetong. He had a qualifying pen to serve from Saudi Arabia, and around Monaco nevertheless, and he just takes it and says, all right, watch this drive. And now he's in first place with a 6-second
Yeah.
lead after pens.
I think the other one has to go to Claire, up 11 positions from P20 to P9. Turned out very difficult, but done a very well job in the top 10 at the moment. So I reckon Claire should be the other nomination for driver of the day, but I think it's pretty clear cut who's going to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I just see in chat, Dynasty's got to be driver of the day, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Leader's on lap 35. He is on currently lap 27.
Oh. He might even get to the point where he's 10 laps down. I know he's holding on for the sake of points. I wonder when we get to the poll time, are we going to actually include Dynasty into that mix? Because I feel like...
Also, another thing, Cheetong has a 25-second post-race penalty to serve, so...
Oh, Cheetong does?
From his Yep, so which at the moment we'll put him P8, P9 area territory with his current pen as well. As Mertz has also got past Mudpack for P2.
Indeed, yeah. So that's gonna give the win to Mertz once the penalties are applied. But I mean, I'm still gonna stick with Cheetong for driver of the day, just because, purely based on the fact that on track, you went from P19 to P1 around Monaco, nevertheless. So that's still my pick for driver of the day. But a few of these drivers getting quite a few pens. 2A's got 16 seconds of penalties that he's still got to go through. And man, Alpine's day just keeps getting from bad to worse. They were in a good spot to try to jump ahead and try to get closer and closer to the top of the overalls. But that is really faded away here.
Yeah, most certainly. P13, P14, and with 2 penalties, it will push him out of the points. So just what looked to be a probably clear 1-2 at the start of the race has turned into not many points at all. Oh, 2 Asian has absolutely sent one on F7 there and gets ahead.
Oh, actually, apparently Mertz also has post-race penalties, so Mudback actually might
Could
inherit
be.
this win.
Could be. It could be from that incident with Gangster as well from Mertz, but if he actually has one. Yeah, Mertz has 10-second post race, so if Mudpack can just stay within 10 seconds of Mertz, should have this victory sewn up when we apply the
Indeed.
post race penalties.
So, interesting. Alright, well, I'm hearing that there's a good amount of dive bombing action going on here, so we'll go ahead and drop down to 2A, which this Alpine team, they've been making some pretty crazy moves, I will say that. I mean, you had the fight with Gangster and Mertz early on in the race, and then we've seen 2A make some really insane dive bombs on a few cars here, and he might try to make one onto Nishka here. We'll see what he can do. If he's going to try to actually send it. He's pretty much right up on the gearbox of the Haas. Oh, and a bit of a wall tap there. I don't really think the wets are the best tire for this situation. I think the inters are still the tire to go on, and that's a ridiculous dive, and basically muscling Nishka out of the way. So that one's definitely going to be under investigation by the stewards. I mean, that's just way too aggressive in my book.
Yeah, it was very aggressive, and as long as Nishka here going into the hairpin, and they make it through. Also, a little bit of contact on the exit there. A couple of love taps there. And F7 is into the
Wow.
wall.
There is no love lost between these drivers here on this track today as we start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix.
And once again, Dynasty being lapped.
Can't even say I'm surprised at this point. Nishka gets a penalty for track limits. Yeah. And now we see 2A pretty much right up the gearbox once again of this. I'm a Ferrari! That's a big tap! That's a big tap going through the swimming pool chicane. And another big tap. So right now 2A just does not care. He's going for every gap. I know the famous quote of, if you no longer go for a gap that exists, then you're no longer a racing driver. But as a racing driver...
I don't think that was a gap though.
I was about to say, but as a racing driver, you gotta know where the gap actually is, and there's definitely not a gap there. He's gonna pretty much still stay glued to this gearbox and just try to go ahead and make it stick. Another bump. So I mean, his racecraft is just, he basically threw it out the window at this point.
Here we go. Will he come for a move here? No, he's too much wheel spin, and hits him again.
And I think again.
He thinks it's dodging cars at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. So, as we go to the final lap here in this Grand Prix here at Monaco, we're going to go on board with Chidung here. He is going to go ahead and make his way through Monaco for the last time. He's got penalties post-race that will demote him several positions to the lower reaches of the points. But right now, he can celebrate this fantastic drive that he has put on here today. He's just got to go ahead and keep it in one piece going through the corners here. So he's got to put the pedal down and go ahead and get on through. So he's making his way through the hairpin for the final time. Mertz is going to try to actually also win this on track. Although it is understood that he's got pens too. But he's going to go ahead and just try to at least get this bit of moment here. He's making his way through the tunnel. Chidung now going through the chicane on the exit of the tunnel. The rain is coming down in buckets here. Someone turned on the shower faucet in the sky as the rain seemingly just gets heavier with each lap. But we'll see the checkered flag here very soon. And Chidung has 2 more corners left to navigate. A bit of a snap there through the penultimate corner. Now it's basically a drag race to line. And on track, Chidung wins the Monaco Grand Prix. P19 to P1. He will lose a spot due to a penalty. So Mertz does actually win this race. So Mertz is your winner.
On track.
He wins it on track. There's going to be post-race penalties applied. So actually it might be Mudpack who wins. But Mertz put in a fantastic drive himself. Cheedong is our pick for driver of the day. But Mertz definitely did a very good job too. Up 6 positions. Cheedong up 17 positions to jump up into P2. So still a fantastic drive on track. But man, oh man, what a race this was here at Monaco.
Yeah. And while that was happening with Cheetah going across the line, Two Asian did get past NZT, but a lot of contact in that last lap as they were going through the hairpin. Two Asian will cross the line P10, but with penalties, they will see him drop to around P15, P16. We'll see where he ends up.
Oh, it's
And he falls outside the point, so Alpine only get a couple of points from Gangsters P13. It is a day to forget if you're an Alpine and a Merc driver.
yeah, and then we gotta have this man right here coming across the line now. Dynasty, a trooper to the end. He finishes the race. He's sustained some rear wing damage in the early stages of this Grand Prix and nursed that car pretty much to the end of this Grand Prix, several laps down. But he keeps the car held together just enough to bring it back in. So, I mean, this has been a fantastic drive here from these drivers. We're going to see a little bit of the celebration before we go ahead and get to the results. But, I mean, post-race penalties are still going to kick in. But what a drive from these three here. They played the strategy game. They had insane pace. And overall, they did the business here on track. So now taking a look at our results here. So we have Mertz, who leads ahead of Cheedung, Mudpack, Rico Ralph. And then we have Hennessy, Protein, Claire, who's actually had a very fantastic recovery drive from P20 all the way to P7. And then we have Tyler Mendavy, Pool, NZT, Nishka, F7, Gangster, Falcon, GM Reigns, 2 Asian For You, Crew, Brandy, aka Dynasty, and then we have Jenith Lee and Wogjet being our only actual retirement of the race. It is listing Dynasty as a DNF. He did come across the line, but several laps down. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this race as we go ahead and get our top 3 drivers into the commentary booth for an interview?
Yeah, very crazy race to say the least. Most surprising driver was Dynasty for going several laps down and carrying on for the entire race. Praying for more DNS, but unfortunately, they just never came.
Yeah, I mean that was a chaotic race there. I mean, only Rush Racing League can actually make Monaco exciting as a race. So, anyways, we have our interviewees in here. So we have actually all 3 of them. So I will go ahead and let you start with driver in P3 of Mudpack.
Yo, can you guys
Hello,
hear me?
Mudpack.
Yo,
Hello.
how you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you, mate?
Fantastic after that. I'm sweating.
Would you like to talk us through your race, please?
Honestly, that was such a hard race. I felt like I was defending the whole time. Um, Lost the tires pretty early on, and then had to go into the pits because I lost a wing. Then I got a stupid 10-second penalty, so I had to go in there. So the early call in the inters was actually pretty good considering I had that 10 second because it was able to get us ahead. But yeah, after that, I just had no pace. I told Chi to go ahead because he was way quicker than me. Um, but yeah, it's just trying to defend the whole time was honestly so hard.
Nice. Is who in the team gave the to you?
Sorry, you cut out there. What'd you say?
Who gave you the strategy call to pit for inters under the safety car?
We were actually just talking about that. It was a full team call. I don't think there was anyone specific that said that. We were like every 30 seconds checking what the weather was. And considering, again, I had the 10-second penalty, we thought that's probably best bet. But yeah, just very lucky with that.
Okay, nice. I will pass you on to Rickers for further questions.
I mean, what a drive, man. I mean, just to quote Twitch chat, Mudpack came out of the mud and straight to a podium. There's a chance he might even inherit the race win with post-race
I did,
penalties that are
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
applied. So, I mean, yeah, I mean,
I'll be very happy with that. Yeah.
was this a track that you knew you were going to have some decent pace around, or was this a track that you were kind of concerned about?
Um, I don't think I was concerned because I was saying before the race that I feel like it doesn't matter how good you are at the track. With the type of track it is, it's just chaos and it's the luck of the draw. But I actually felt like I didn't have great pace throughout the whole race. I was just able to park my car in the middle of the road really and just make sure no one passes me.
I mean, you did a very good job of defending on a track that's already pretty easy to defend on, but you still put up an extremely valiant effort. So the last question I'm going to ask you before we let you go is, we are heading to Qatar next week. How do you feel around Qatar? Because it's a different track. You can actually make some really good overtakes here.
Oh,
So
I love the track. Can't wait for it. I'm eager to get to a track where there isn't a wall between you, like 2 meters to the left and 2 meters to the right. So that'll be quite nice to not have to worry about that. Yeah, so quite excited for it.
all right, once again, congratulations on the P3 and a fantastic drive, and maybe we will see you next week.
Hopefully, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, so from one kick to the other, so Chi, I mean, you had a quality ban, and then you still made your way up to second place. So I mean, what a drive, man! How do you feel about that?
Oh my god, I cannot say this, but before the race, like I have no hope to get a point, but because of the strategy and the team principle, we got so many points today, so I feel very great.
Indeed, I mean, also I'm sure you might have heard, but you were also given driver of the day as well. So that is
Oh yeah.
an extra bit of celebration for you. So I'll ask you one more question before I hand you over to Cooper. How do you feel about Qatar coming up next week? Because, like I told your teammate, it is a very different track compared to Monaco.
Well, I would say Quala is one of my best track in this year, so I'm really excited for it.
All right, I mean, dude, you had a fantastic drive. There was really no debate on who driver of the day was gonna be. So once again, congratulations on the P2. I know there's post-race penalties that are still gonna come in, but on track. Congratulations on the P2 and driver today, and I will pass you over to Cooper.
Gee, my driver, hello.
Hello, what's up?
I'm good, man. Well done on the P2 in the
Thank you.
race. What was the original plan for you before the race started, knowing that you had a collie ban and you were at the rear of the pack?
Well, our first strategy would be like stay calm, don't try to pull anything that like the first race. So we will try to wait for everybody to make a mistake, then take advantage of it.
Nice. So we've basically stole my plan. That's all my questions, and well done
Okay,
on the P2.
thank you guys.
All right, so last but certainly not least, Mert, the race winner here. I mean, it came down to the last lap. You're only ahead by 7 thousandths of a second coming across the line. So, I mean, congratulations on the race win. Obviously, I know we still have some post-race penalty stuff that will be sorted out by the stewards. But in the here and now, how do you feel about that race? You moved up 7 positions from where you started today.
Yeah, we definitely felt great. The car was really, really good in the wet. We definitely started on the hard tires to get try and get more of a stable car rather than an aggressive slipstream car. So that definitely worked out for us. Coming into this week, we had 10 seconds of penalties from last round, and luckily enough, we were able to clear that on P2. So I believe I just got them by 11.3 or so, and I believe first place had 25 seconds. But the team, props to them, they gave us a great strategy today. Props to other team members in the team as well. Setups were phenomenal, and the car really just came alive. And yeah, we delivered.
Yeah, there was a pretty tough battle between you and Gangster up to the closer of the ending stages of the race. So walk us through that. I mean, because the Alpines were getting very aggressive as the race went on.
Yeah, probably too aggressive if you ask me. We have to get the move done eventually. My car somehow turned into a rocket ship at turn 3-4 and was able to get the move done. A bit of wheel banging, but from what I can say, was my corner was clean. So I think if we definitely didn't get that move done, the kicks would have defended. And props to the kicks as well. They had a rough start to the day, but ended really strong. During that safety car when it was raining, we were definitely thinking of coming in. We stayed out 1 or 2 laps extra, but it definitely paid off a kick in the end. But I think if we didn't get that move done, it would have been a very different position today.
Well, I mean, hey, sometimes, especially with a track like Monaco, where passing opportunities are so few and far between, you really just gotta pick your moment and go for it. So, I mean, props for you to going ahead and actually getting that move done. And I will pass you over to Cooper for any questions.
Hello, Mertz.
How's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Not bad after today.
My question for you is obviously after having the win by 0.007, moving on to Qatar next week. How do you feel for Qatar?
Um, Pretty familiar with Qatar. Haven't raced there for a bit, but I've had some strong performances there. Hopefully everything goes correct at Qatar, and we actually get a good quality session in compared to today. And hopefully we'll just keep the lead going on from here.
Nice. That's all questions I have for you.
Actually, I do have one more question for you, real quick. So how do you feel about Qatar next week?
Yeah, as I just mentioned, it's gonna be a challenge for sure. It's definitely it's a dangerous track, so it's pretty much high speed. If you lose your rear, it's gonna be a rough day. So we'll try our best.
All right. Once again, congratulations on the win, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so that's gonna bring us to a close here in Division 4. But stick around, because very shortly after this, we got Division 2 racing. And my main man, Cooper, here, is going to take to this track in Monaco. Hopefully he gets the same godlike strategy that Kicks have given their drivers here in Div 4. But any closing thoughts from you, Cooper, before we round out the stream?
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting Div 4 race. Only 2 DNFs, so did very well. Did better than the Div 1 boys, who I don't know how many DNFs they have, but yeah, it was all solid, clean driving. Shout out to Dynasty for finishing near enough 8 laps down and having a no rear wing for about 30 laps. So well done to him for attempting to finish the race. Unfortunately, did DNF because he was so slow, didn't finish on time. But apart from that, that's all I've got.
All right, so that is going to wrap things up here in Division number 4. Once again, a massive shout out to all of our fantastic sponsors: AI369, Sim Racing Center, Pagni and Sim Labs, Speed Nation. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you to everybody in chat. Thank you to Jackal, who went ahead and subscribed with Twitch Prime. And I'm going to pull a page out of SJ's book and leave you guys with a bit of a quote. After a tricky race in Monaco, the kicks have definitely been pumped up. Can they keep this momentum for the rest of the week? Find out next time. It has been Rush Racing League. My name is Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and alongside Cooper, we have been your hosts and commentators for today's race, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.